It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go. Tuesday show, December 12th, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com if you're watching live, or the Fox local app. Download that if you're sitting at home. Also, YouTube. That is where our bread and butter is right there. So if you could hit that like button, if you could hit that subscribe button, heading towards 60,000 subscribers on this platform. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Good afternoon, my friend. It is indeed a good afternoon. Weather outside is not too bad. The sun is out, and I'm here with my boys having a good time. And oh, by the way, I got a chance to go home and watch that 1997 college Heisman race, 30 for 30, and it was pretty good.
I'd like to talk to you about that later today because I have mmany questions. Yeah. It is on my list. I think that is my tonight watching as well. Really looking forward to it because that was an exciting time to be at Michigan, and that was going on, and Peyton Manning, Ryan Leaf, Charles Woodson, Randy Moss, unbelievable stuff, Bray.
Yeah, 100%. Like, we can get into all the whole season and what it was and the players that were mentioned in that. But I just want to say one thing about Charles Woodson. He is the best college football player of all time. There's a reason why I went to the University of Michigan. Look, Barry Sanders had the best college season of all time. We know that. 42 touchdowns. That'll never be done again. Season, got to go Barry Sanders. But Charles Woodson was the best. He dominated the game on both sides. He shut down your best wide receiver, and then he would go there and cook up your best DB. And he did that at Ohio State, shut down David Boston, and then cooked up Antoine Winfield, who was one of the best DBs that I ever played against. The fact that he's the best, man. Sir Charles, here.
Tom Mazaway, good afternoon to you and your New York Giants pullover. By the way, were those uniforms last night gorgeous or what?
They're gorgeous. The dark blue helmet with the Giants, the gabagool, and then the royal blue, of course, the Lawrence Taylor uniforms with the Giant helmet at midfield. It was great, and the game turned out to be pretty fun at the end. Two teams that really aren't that good, and Green Bay had a bad night, but the Giants win it, and Tommy DeVito and his family is the story, and we'll get into that game. And the Titans game was terrific. They did something that nobody has done since 2016.
0-767, I believe the stat was.
Yeah,
Isn't that something?
100%.
That is unbelievable.
That Giants game, we talk about it, and I said that the Green Bay Packers were going to win. I didn't really necessarily pay attention, but I should just listen to myself. What did I say yesterday? I said defensive coaches versus offensive coaches. Brian Dable, after the game, he said, look, man, we figured out a couple plays that he liked. The rest, he said, just go out there and throw that MF. That's what he told Tommy DeVito, and that's how they operated. Picked a couple plays that he liked, couple plays he was comfortable with. They weren't trying to throw the whole book at him the whole game and confuse him even more and let it rock and roll. That's the sign. That's the difference between offensive-minded head coach, defensive-minded head coach.
Pete Spivak is with us. Kool-Aid is with us as well. Can we just start there with the Monday night action last night? First and foremost, I did not like the doubleheader at the same time. As blasphemous as that may sound, I thought those were two really good games last night that I didn't pay attention to. I guess I paid attention more to the Packers game over the Dolphins game, obviously. But I found myself going back and forth instead of being locked in to just one. So, first and foremost, did you like the doubleheader at the same time last night?
No. I didn't like the doubleheader at the same time because, one, I didn't focus on – it's hard to focus on two games. So the same thing for me, I chose the Dolphins because I wanted to see Tua, I wanted to see Tyreek Hill, I wanted to see the best offense. And even with that, I got bored trying to go back and forth. And ultimately, I ended up watching either until the end.
And quite frankly, Maz,
I loved it.
All this consideration about the two games moving forward, I don't think that there's a broadcast team for it. I mean, you're paying Joe Buck and Troy Aikman each $25 million a year to broadcast a game. You want to cut your audience in half? I don't think you want to do that because, no offense, and I love Chris Fowler, and I love Louis Riddick, and I love Dan Orlovsky. I love them all separately.
Yeah.
I did not like them at all together. I thought it was one of the more boring broadcasts that I could find. So I was thinking about just a pure business sense.
Yeah.
You're not going to pay these guys $50 million in your booth, $25 million a piece, and have them split your audience.
They are a boring trio.
Yeah.
No question. All three excellent on their own. But I enjoyed both games, and I was flipping back and forth, and I was locked in on both. They're both close games until the Dolphins took a 14-point lead.
3 minutes to go.
Here come the Titans, 3 minutes to go. And I love what Will Levis does. And D-Hop had a great night. So did the man in the backfield, Derrick Henry. Man, 10 touchdowns again for Derrick Henry, supposedly on the decline. He still knows how to get in the end zone. And I was happy for Mike Vrabel to get that win. And Miami is kind of like the Lions. Think about it. Matter of fact, Tua even said, hey, we're not the same team we were at the beginning of the year. What did John Kaminsky say? We lost our mojo here in Detroit. It's those teams are struggling this year. There's only like one team right now that's really flying high, and that's the San Francisco 49ers and the Cowboys.
And by the way, San Francisco had a point in the season where they lost 3 in a row.
But you're hitting it now at the right time. Last year the Lions were going up. This year they're going down. I enjoyed the doubleheader yesterday. As far as the broadcast goes, there's plenty of guys you could put in that second Monday night game that isn't that trio.
Yeah, as it
There's
relates
plenty of guys.
As it relates to Derrick Henry is on the decline. I mean, you look at his yards. I got him in fantasy. Like, he is not the same back. But, however, he still is 6'5", 255 pounds. If you get down there on the goal line, he'll get you in a touchdown here or there. But I agree. 100% the Lions are like the Miami Dolphins, and here's why. Who was missing from their team yesterday? Their best offensive lineman. When Tua has time, he can connect with Tyreek Hill. Yes, Tyreek Hill is the predominant of the offense. You saw him go out. They struggle. But it's also because of the offensive line is why it struggled. Terrence Armstead goes out. Their best offensive lineman. They weren't the same team. He didn't play that game. And then their center goes out. And even worse, Tua didn't have time to throw the ball. So I think you're seeing the resemblance from the same. When Tua has time, when Jared Goff has time, they look like different teams. But when they don't, they look like different quarterbacks.
Guys, when I got to Fox 2 this morning and I sat at my computer, I did nothing but watch Tommy DeVito videos all morning long. And his family, his dad, his agent, and all the kisses and all the hugs and the tailgate.
Look at that.
I mean, is this tremendous or what?
Now that's a tailgate.
I mean,
That's a spread.
So
I know the place, Calandro's, that did this, and they're in Cedar Grove, and they are superb.
I mean, I know there was a movie made about Vince Papale and the Eagles.
Yep.
They've got to make a movie about this guy. This is one of, if not the most incredible storyline in the entire league this year, is what this guy is doing. Growing up in Jersey, being a Giants fan, making the team, and then ultimately playing, not only playing, but playing well
3-0
for his hometown New York Giants. Are you kidding me? This is the stuff that dreams are made of. This is why we love sports.
Amen.
This is incredible. You see his dad in the stands kissing everybody.
I love that.
Come on. If you don't like this,
Familia.
you're not a human being.
Familia.
Yeah, no, this is amazing, man. In New Jersey, being a part of the Jets lore, and like the New Jersey cats, man, they're a different type of breed. New York, Jersey, they're right there. They can have one of their own. To have one of their own so close to it, like it endears the rest of the team. Because now as teammates of Tommy DeVito, you become a member of New Jersey. You become a member of the restaurant Maz that you said did the delivery. You become a member of that family, like the guys on the team. So this is great for everybody around, man. It's fun to see. I know they're having some fun in New York at number 15's expense.
I'll tell you what, man. He went to Don Bosco Prep. That's a very good high school
Michigan
in Jersey.
got a couple Don Bosco guys.
They sure
Rashawn
do.
Gary, I
they
think.
sure do. Here's a guy that went to Syracuse, played 4 years at Syracuse on and off, then transfers to Illinois, gets 1 year at Illinois, undrafted, hanging out.
Almost beat Michigan.
How about it? And then the Giants give him a shot, and Danny Dimes gets what? $40 million a year, and he falls on his face this year after winning a playoff game last year. And who's stepping up? Not Tyrod Taylor. He gets hurt as always. But here he is, off the practice squad. Come on up, Tommy DeVito. Let's give you a shot. Guy lives at home. His mother cooks for him. His mother cleans, makes his bed, does his laundry, and he's got no issues with it. He says, bring it on, man. I love this kid.
You got to give some love to Brian Daboll being able to win a game with Tyrod Taylor,
Absolutely.
as well as Daniel Jones, as well as Tommy DeVito. But isn't this situation very eerily similar in New York? Didn't the same thing happen in the Jets locker room last year? Mike White takes over for Zach Wilson. Everybody falls in love. Now, I know it's not the Cinderella, same from New Jersey, but the difference is, and this came up earlier today, Shannon Sharp asked this question. Ryan, I'm going to pose it to you. When Daniel Jones comes back, now all of a sudden, do you give Daniel Jones the reins back to the team?
No.
Or is this a situation where it's up for obviously he's not returning this year, but in camp, is it like, hey, our $42 million quarterback is back, he's automatically the guy? Or is it, hey, this is open competition, Maz?
I never saw Brian Daboll look at
Daniel Jones.
At Daniel Jones the same way he's looking at this kid.
There's something magic about it, right? Now, I don't know if this kid's going to be, a starter in this league, but you may have your backup for the next 10 years.
He ran for almost 100 yards on his own.
71 in a touchdown. You know what you do have now, though, Ryan? You got running backs running with purpose again. You got wide receivers catching passes. You have offensive linemen blocking the defensive linemen. You got guys that are playing for Tommy DeVito. Whatever he's doing in the huddle, it's making this team want to play harder for him and inadvertently play harder for Brian Daboll. So, to me, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, it's up for next year. Quarterback, it's up.
Colin made this point today too. Colin Coward made this point today, and it was a really staggering point that I never considered. But 11 of the 14 playoff teams right now have offensive head coaches. And I just looked at the standings right now. If you go through the 32 teams in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers out, Deshaun Watson out, Joe Burrow out, Kenny Pickett out, Anthony Richardson out, Ryan Tannehill out, now lost his job, but Jimmy Garoppolo, Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray was out. You need a backup quarterback in this league.
Yeah.
You see what happens when you have a defensive coach and a backup quarterback. You look at Mike Tomlin with Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah. He just is terrible.
You look at Zach Wilson with
Robert
Saleh. If you have a defensive coach and you have to insert a backup quarterback, that just spells doom. But then you see what Jake Browning is doing in Cincinnati with Zach Taylor. You see what Tommy DeVito is doing with Brian Daboll. Josh Dobbs got off to a really good start. Now
Kevin O'Connell.
He's not, but he did get off to a start with Kevin O'Connell. And oh, by the way, they happen to be 7-6 and 2 games out of a playoff berth. It's just so he's like the offensive coaches with a backup quarterback are so necessary, and chances are you've got a 33% shot of playing the year with a backup quarterback, and you can't just toss your season away if your quarterback gets hurt. It's really important to have an offensive head coach.
Yeah, you guys asked me yesterday about Jake Browning and how that thing went. I said same thing. Zach Taylor, offensive-minded coach. Kyle Stefanski. I always do that. I know
Kevin Stefanski. There he goes, another one
with Joe Flacco. He's figuring it out. So yeah,
he's back on the practice squad again.
Joe Flacco.
Yeah, he could be picked up by any team right now if the Browns don't activate him to the active roster.
Hey, he's probably cool with that.
Isn't that funny? He just goes out, throws for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and wins a game.
I go back to practice squad. See how it works out. See how it makes out. They playing something under the table. They got another deal in place, but it's just it's letting you know, like, what you see is what you get. It's no more, well, we got to try to find a way to make a defensive guy the guy. If you don't have a special situation like D'Amico Ryan, and it's all, you can't do it.
Guys, I want to ask you, just to pick up on this conversation right now, good offense, will that beat a good defense? We grew up good defense beats good offense. I really don't think that is the case anymore. I want you guys to answer that next. But first, a message from Dispo.
Open till midnight now. Dispo Romeo, your local plug. And come see Santa this Friday and Saturday at Dispo Romeo. It's going to be fun. They got the sauce. They had the place in place. But listen, 21 up, you got to be recreational only. Cannabis, they got it in spades. It is the best place. You feel like a kid in a candy store. Be responsible, but come on, have a good time and hang out. Come see Santa Friday and Saturday at Dispo Romeo.
All right, guys. Born in cold winter basement here in Detroit. Three buddies want more out of rock, paper, scissors. You know that game. They dug deep and they struck gold with the new game called Jack Labrador. 2 new symbols, a 3-point play. And once you go Jack, you will not go back. 1 deck of cards, 3 new games of nonstop action. It's a perfect no-brainer. Stocking stuffer for all ages. Scan the QR code above or go to jacklabrador.com. Get your deck today.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Hey gang, for over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry aged beef. You can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. All you have to do is visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks. Just walk in, pull them right out, vacuum sealed, all that good stuff. If you can't make it in person, you can order online, fairwaypacking.com, fairwaypacking.com.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I want to thank Dean as well from Jack Labrador. He brought us a pizza party today.
Unbelievable.
It was, we got a picture for you as well. Pizza, chicken, salads. Look at this at the Palatial Studios here.
Isn't that beautiful?
In Birmingham at Lady Jane's headquarters. And
thanks, guys.
It was tremendous. This Jack Labrador game, pretty fun. It's basically rock, paper, scissors on steroids with 2 new moves.
A
deck of cards and a 3-point play.
It's awesome, honestly.
Yeah.
If you're getting a stocking stuffer, what's better than opening up a deck of cards? To me, nothing.
Nothing.
I love it. I'm trying to get my kids to play more card games.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to the kids of today.
This happened.
Yeah. You go to Michigan State now for these new kids, and I'm like, hey, you guys know how to play euchre, right? What?
They don't even know what the game is.
They don't even know. Euchre,
Sad.
euchre is Michigan's game. Now Jack Labrador could be Michigan's second game. Let's go.
I'm excited. What's the name? Who taught me how to play euchre? Tony Pape.
Are you any good?
I used to be good because we used to play all the time.
Shark over here.
Tony Pape used to have me
call
play
him Sharky.
The
I just
lineman.
love that. Oh, what a game.
But it was interesting. When you first told me the name of the game, I'm like, 3 guys in the basement. I don't know about that. But you start playing the game. It's not bad. It was some fun.
Yeah, it was
It's
fun.
just getting used to doing the new signals.
It's rock, paper. It's
rock, paper, shoot.
No, it's like Labrador. It's rock, paper, scissors. And then there's 2 new moves. There's the Labrador and the
NWO, baby.
Yeah. No, this is the Labrador. This is the Jack.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'll just referee.
Cool. Yeah.
I make a damn good referee.
So all good stuff. Guys, offensive league, okay? I was watching that Dallas Cowboys game, Philadelphia Eagles. All I hear is how great Philadelphia's defense is. All I hear is big play Slay. And, they got Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. And they've got this guy and that guy. Brandon Graham is 75 years old and playing at an all-pro level. I mean, up and down the Eagles roster defensively, they are that team. And then they run into Dallas. There's no pass rush. Sure, there was the sack fumble touchdown. Okay, I understand it. But aside from that, Dallas did exactly what they wanted to do. I believe there were 9 of 14 on third downs.
Amazing.
Dak
owned it.
Eagles couldn't stop a nosebleed, and it was evidence, Exhibit A, on good offense beats good defense. 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100.
Agreed.
You guys got any?
Yeah, right now that's it. It ain't the old days anymore. It's not, the Chicago Bears of 1985. It's those days that right now put off onto the side. If you ask me, look at the Miami Dolphins, what they're doing. But now it's starting to come back to them a little bit. Look at the Detroit Lions. I think one of the worst things that could happen to the Detroit Lions was the Chargers game, where they think they can go out and just keep scoring against everybody. And it hasn't been that way. I hope they get back to that way again. Then you look at the Vikings last week against the Raiders. They play a 3-0 game. They'll tell you defense wins games because they don't have an offense. But if you have a good offense, man, the only way the Lions are going to win a Super Bowl this year or win a playoff game is they're going to have to outscore people.
Yeah, good offense can be good defense today, but the difference is the Eagles aren't a good defense. We're giving them credit for what they did last year with their defensive line and how dominant that defensive line was. Even that secondary last year gave up plays. We saw that in the Super Bowl. But this isn't the same Philadelphia Eagles team. They are dead. They are in the bottom five of every major statistical defensive category. Meanwhile, the Dallas Cowboys are in the top 3 in all major statistical categories. So what you saw in that game, Ryan, to be honest, was a mismatch. You saw a damn good Dallas Cowboys team who's operating at the highest level right now. And you saw an Eagles defense that's been struggling for the better part of the season, especially these last 5 games. They've played the Chiefs, they've played the Bills, they've played the Dolphins, they've played the Cowboys. I think they're just beat up, and they're not the same defense they were last year. Meanwhile, that Dallas team, to your point, they're the best offense in the NFL right now. Maybe even better just statistically than, well, they're second. We know who's won, 49ers.
49ers absolutely right now, yeah. Just totally interesting to see what's going on over there. We'll get to the Lions, guys. Lions with an opportunity this week to get back on track. It is Dan Campbell versus Sean Payton. Here is Dan Campbell talking yesterday on what he learned from Payton on getting out of a hole. It feels like the Detroit Lions are in a little bit of a hole right now. How do you get out of that hole once you're in it?
You don't do this. You just do this. You just keep putting in the work. You don't overreact to what it may appear to be. Man, you just go by the facts. You look at what is the issue? What is the problem? Is it turnovers? Is it the fundamentals? Is your first step? Are we not getting the call fast enough? And when you go back and look at anything that has hurt us, it's our own issues, and it's the little things that come from day one. And honestly, the teams that are winning and consistently win are the ones that do the little things right, the fundamentals. They take care of the football, they get takeaways, and those are the most consistent teams. And so all we got to do is get back to that, man, playing clean football. And it really is as simple as that. It doesn't mean it's easy, but it is that simple. And it's all in our hands. It's all in our control. And that's the great thing about it.
Especially watching after how Sean Payton this year with the Denver Broncos, they had to readjust again. He had to get back to the basics. He had to make it easy for the Broncos. Because remember, they also gave up 70 points on defense to the Miami Dolphins early in the year, but now they've pivoted. Now they're a team. Less turnovers. They're winning games. They're running the football. Russell Wilson is now making the plays that he can, not trying to make the plays that he can't. And he's absolutely right. I don't think he needs to call Sean Payton for him to tell him that. I think he knows the formula. We talked about it on Monday. We talked about it yesterday. I'm sorry. He's got to just get back to the basics. The things on film that you see, but you gloss over because you're winning. The things that you see at practice guys do or not doing, but you gloss over. Oh, they'll get it in the game. Obviously, they're not. Obviously, they won't get in the game. So you got to harp on those details this week in practice and get – sometimes you had these moments. Like Rex Ryan used to call them training camp moments where you would legitimately – he would change the dynamic of a practice. Maybe you don't come out on this Wednesday and you go balls to the wall, wearing shoulder pads, and you have a real good practice. Maybe you don't wear shoulder pads. Maybe it's a thinking practice. Maybe it's one where you're going over assignments. Maybe it's like that movie The Dirty Dozen, when they're going over the assignment maps over and over and over and over and over again. Even on the airplane as they're going in to attack, sometimes you got to make sure you know your assignments and walk through it. A different approach as opposed to yelling at the team or this, that, and the third. Hey, fellas, we're not going to have full speed practice today, but we're going to go over our assignments. Still going to be an hour and 45-minute practice. Still going to get a lot done, but we're going to give you some rest at the end of the season. But now we need to dial in mentally. I think that's where they can benefit from a practice like that, or just a thought process like that. Hey, let's focus on the mental. Let's focus on the disciplinary action of the thing.
A couple things about this, about Sean Payton and Dan Campbell.
The Dirty Dozen.
If you remember at the beginning of the year when they were 1-5, what did Sean Payton say? Hey, we could turn this around. Remember the Lions last year, what they did? He used the Lions.
Yeah.
He said it, and we're all laughing at him. How dare he use the Lions? We're kicking ass, and they're 1-5. And here they are.
Quickly the ship
And
turned.
here they are, how it's basically swapped. And Dan Campbell on Sunday said, hey, I can get mean. I can get tough. And if that's what they need, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm sure Sean Payton did that. And I think that 70-point game that they gave up to the Dolphins
Hell yeah.
embarrassed them so much that it flipped their season. And I think that was the best thing that happened to this Bronco team. And the worst thing that happened to the Dolphins.
Playing, you're absolutely right, because it gave him false confidence. Yep. Like playing against Sean Payton before, I've only played against him twice. And the first time I wasn't old enough to know to pay attention to coaches, see how coaches are, because potentially you might be playing for him. But the second time I played, I just watched him. Dan Campbell's going to definitely want to beat Sean Payton. Sean Payton's a guy that knows it. He's going to be fiery on that sideline. Like, it's going to be interesting to watch them back and forth, guy like the mentor and the mentee. Dan Campbell don't want to lose that game.
Just goes to show you how important the coach is as well.
Hell yeah.
Like the actual coaching hire. You know, who you hire for a coach. Sean Payton may be 1-5, but there might not be 5 more head coaches in the league that are more confident when they go to work that they know exactly what they're doing. Like Sean Payton walks into that building and he knows that he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he has a belief system in himself and his coaching staff that he's going to get it done. I think that comes with experience, but I think that also comes from having a bit of an apprenticeship as well. Dan Campbell learned under Sean Payton. So he learned, how to show up to work, how to stay steady, how to do all of that. So last year they're in a stretch. And I also think because this coaching staff is filled up and down the coaching roster with former players, more than anybody, they don't get too high and they don't get too low. They show up to work every day just about even keel, or maybe some a little bit of waves, but never here and never here. You can't, to be a successful player. You can never be this high and never be that low. So I just think the way the coaching staff is built, you are able to come out of that if your coach knows what the hell he's doing. For instance, Brandon Staley. No, he does not know what he's doing, and I hate to pick on Brandon Staley. Right. He's an easy guy to pick on, but everybody knows, and everybody in that building knows that Brandon Staley doesn't know what he's doing.
He's over his head.
And if that's the case, you're never going to come out of a 1-6 hole like that or a 1-5 hole like that. You just need a good coaching staff and a good coach.
When you don't believe in your coach, when you don't believe in your other players, then you don't believe in your team. And when you don't believe in your team, you don't play like it. Like, you don't run as fast. You don't run as hard. You don't block as long. Like, you don't try to knock guys down. You don't try to avoid the rush to maybe someone get open down the field so I'll get to that person. I trust. That's the difference. Like, when you don't have that trust, you don't play like it. And that's when you start to play like a team that's ready to go to Cancun. But they got Dan Campbell, who's no longer at the podium, doing this after every comment he makes and flipping his hat and doing this. That was the guy that didn't believe in it. He knew what was going on. That was a guy that was frustrated because he didn't have the answers yet. He's not that guy anymore. He's operating from a place of more patience, more calm. He knows what to do. He knows how to fix it. Now it's just a matter of making your players see how to fix it and going out there and fixing it, because there's some things that are broken with this team, but there are some things that are still really good.
Did you hear the locker room after the Bills-Chiefs game in Buffalo? I mean, the Buffalo locker room? Sean McDermott was complimenting the guys. Hey, great guys. You guys got this. You guys did this. And one guy in the back says, hey, we got your back, coach. And then they all said, yeah, we all got your back, coach. And he had this big smile on his face after that. They loved it. Believe it or not, you might not like McDermott.
That's a team that's coming together.
Yeah.
That's the team that's coming
They love
together
him.
right now. That
They
could
love
have went
him.
south, and they're coming together, yeah.
Yeah, I never hated on Sean McDermott. I just obviously stayed the facts. And as he's gotten better, the narrative does change. But
well, that's exactly right. I mean, the more information you have, the better informed your opinion can be. I'm sure the narrative changed on Dan Campbell. It changed with me on Dan Campbell, 1-6, 8-2.
Yeah.
Sky falling in Buffalo, Sky not falling anymore. They're coming together. You know, things change. You just have to have a belief system, or have it's, you know, don't make any quick reactions. Like the Lions didn't fire Dan Campbell when the going got tough. Buffalo didn't fire Sean McDermott, you know, in the preseason and when they hit a bit of a rough patch. You have to have a belief in your people as well. That's what good organizations
You remember the
do.
only guy they fired so far?
And that's what I was about to say,
staff?
Ken Dorsey. And that's exactly what I was about to say. Sometimes when you look at Sean McDermott, coaches don't like firing coaches. They just don't like doing it, or they don't allow it to happen. So when you get a guy that's under the gun, he makes a decision like that, you got to give him credit for it. Dan Campbell didn't want to fire Aubrey Pleasant, but he did, and it turned it around.
There you go.
Sean McDermott didn't want to fire Ken Dorsey, but he needed to. He had to, and they look a lot better. When you make decisions like that, man, this is when people start to say, you know what? I'm going to ease up off Sean McDermott.
Yeah.
He's making the right decisions, and it's working for him. So
He's not just keeping his friends.
100%. Having your friends work for you and keeping them on staff doesn't work if they're not working.
Look at MSU. All the complaints against
Pat.
what's his
Tucker?
name?
No, not
before
Mel Tucker.
him.
Before that, Mike D'Antonio.
D'Antonio. Remember, he would never fire. Mark D'Antonio would never fire any of his assistants. They were begging him.
Who is
you
that
got to change
defensive
it. You got to
coordinator?
change it.
Narduzzi?
No, the one after him. I forget.
He wouldn't. And he went down with the Titanic.
And they lost by like 45.
Scotty Hazelton.
There you go, Scotty Hazelton.
Oh, God. Guys, well, you'll hear more from Dan Campbell coming up next. What's going on with the injuries? Frank Ragnow, James Houston, CJ GJ, what he had to say about them and what he has to say about playing against Sean Payton. You'll hear all that next, but first a message from Big Boy.
All right, guys, wintertime in Detroit is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Start your day off with a great breakfast. The stuffed potato pancakes are back, as well as those great omelets. The classic lumberjack and the Santa Fe garden. The new apple pie hotcakes are too good to miss. Then if you want some lunch or dinner, try the new veal parmesan. Or how about the Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl? Top it all off with a gingerbread shake from your local Big Boy.
Have you ever wondered where all the finest restaurants get their steaks? It's Fairway Packing Company, providing Michigan restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef for over 60 years. But now you can buy these cuts of meat for yourself at the Steak Shop by Fairway Packing Company. Prime porterhouse, A5 Japanese New York strip steak, dry aged Wagyu beef tomahawk. Delicious. Get to the Steak Shop today. Enjoy fine wine, have a private party, and get the finest cuts of meat anywhere. The Steak Shop on Mack Avenue in Grosse Pointe Woods, or order online, fairwaypacking.com.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
How would you like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway? Take your friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Citron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win. Register at drinkcitron.com/Vegas and buy Citron at your local Meijer store. Citron, the healthier energy drink with great taste. Look good, feel great, and be the best version of yourself with Citron. drinkcitron.com/Vegas.
It means we better be on our stuff because he's going to come here to try to embarrass us. That's what it means. And so that's our motivation. That's my motivation. And it's about winning, man. All we got to do is find a way to win. And we're going to have to be at our best. And we will be at our best.
You know, I do like the confidence that Dan Campbell has come to the podium with after the game on Sunday and to the podium with 24 hours later on Monday. That, to me, signals a head coach that he's not panicking, because despite the fact that the Lions are losers of 2 of the last 3, they do have 9 wins. They are 9-4, and he is not panicking. They feel like they're in a pretty good spot. They feel like it is their mistakes that are getting them beat in these games, Braylon, and they're going to fix them. I like that confidence.
Yeah, I like the confidence. It's kind of the comment that I was making before, like him taking the hat off and putting it back on. Like, that's when he wasn't confident, and that was 2 years ago, and now he's not that same Dan Campbell. He's not doing that same thing, so that's appreciated. But it goes back to the conversation we had yesterday. I want to see these things get fixed. I want to see these things change, because at the end of the day, if Frank Ragnow can't be the center, it shouldn't affect what the Detroit Lions do moving forward, because you knew that going into the game. So he's going against a battle to a guy he knows all too well, a guy that's going to be prepared, that knows everything Dan Campbell's thinking, going to know what the offense is, the defense is, the weak points of that, and they're going to try to execute them. So your job this week is to shore up what people think are your weak points, and what do you think your weak points are as well.
Hey, look, guys, we're not blind. We've been watching this team. Dan Campbell, I love him. He's a great coach. You know, but he's got to be that way. He's got to be positive. If he's telling me he's not worried, you know, I don't believe that. I know he's worried. There's only so many injuries you can just patch up, and once the flat tire gets like 6, 7, 8 patches in it, the tire's going to blow up eventually. You need a new tire, and they're running out of guys to stick in there. And when I hear him talking about the rest of this team, and we'll talk about the injuries here in a few minutes, I'll let you, before I say anything about it, I'm just going to tell you, man, it just doesn't look like the team like last year. Last year they were revving up. This year they're revving down. It's just, it looks like, it is what it is. And they're playing 3 teams now in the next 4 weeks that are all fighting their ass off to make the playoffs. Yeah, they're definitely better than the Vikings. No question about it. The Broncos, maybe not. And the Cowboys, for sure not. So they're going to need some luck, and they're going to play their best ball if they want to get out of this thing with more than 10 wins at most.
And that's the thing. I don't think it's luck though, man. Like I don't think it's luck that they need. I just think it's kind of going back to the basics and the things that are working. One of the best things that was working for the Lions in the Chicago Bears game, is Ryan talked about it yesterday, the run was working earlier. I think they both backs were 8 yards a carry, or floating right around 6.8, 6.6. Both backs were over 6 yards carrying, but because you were down, you decided you had to pass every time, so you kind of went away from the run. They still do some things well, and I think it's staying the course. I think it's believing in yourself. Like you said, Dan Campbell at the microphone, he's a different guy. He believes that he can change. Well, have the same belief on Sunday. Stick with the things that work for you in the running game and the offensive line, the dominance. Once you get that set, I know it's just not about the running game, but it was having success early in that game, and you went away from it. Stay with the things that work for you.
You know, do you judge the Lions against their own history, or do you judge them against the NFL? Because all I've heard this week is, oh, but they are 9-4 and they're the division leaders. And if you judge them by Lions history, then yeah. I mean, we might as well have a parade down Woodward right now.
Correct.
Just based on the Lions history. It's week 13, week 14. They're 9-4, and they're in first place with 2 games to go. They'll probably host a playoff game. That's great. But I think where a lot of this comes in is they haven't played well over the last month of the season at all, probably longer than that. They are turning the ball over at an absolutely alarming rate. You just can't win like that. You can't beat the Carolina Panthers if you turn the ball over 3-4 times a game. Maybe the Panthers, but that's about it.
Not last year.
So it's just a matter of cleaning that up. You know they could play so much better, and there is a part of me that feels like they wasted an opportunity to not improve this team at the deadline.
Yeah.
That is such a hard pill to swallow in a year that feels like it's so up in the air, where you do have a chance. That part of it alone just feels like a missed opportunity. And when they're playing like this now, that compounds that lack of improvement at the deadline.
I know you're going to eventually play this injury thing.
Play it now. You want to play it?
I'd like to play it because I'd like to talk about this and then what the team goes forward.
Great. Here's Dan Campbell. This is a minute of the raw video where the first player that they ask about is Ragnow. Here's that.
Yet to be determined. He is improving. He's improving. But there again, I won't know for a little bit here.
James Houston said last week he was hoping to get a couple games before the playoffs. Does that mean he could be potentially coming back to practice this week?
No. I think it'll be a while before that. Look, I do think there's a chance, but I think we're looking late December, January, possibly.
Is it still a chance for him?
Yeah, I think there's a chance. I think Lazarus has a chance. I think he does. He's improved. I mean, both of those guys have, but CJ's, man, he's kicked it in overdrive, and he's healed quick and is healing quick, and most of it's going to be about just is his body ready for that? Will he be able to do it without re-injuring, and is it stable, strong enough? And I know he's taken off, but we'll see. Probably same timeline. If there is a chance, it'd be late December, January, probably.
Okay, what Dan Campbell just told you is Frank Ragnow is going to be in and out of the lineup, basically, maybe. The next guy he wants to talk about is James Houston. He's not coming back. Third guy is CJ GJ. All on Instagram for the past month, showing you how great he looks. He ain't coming back either. Okay? He's not. So the team you got now is the team you got going towards the end of the year. Vegas said 9.5. You got 9 wins right now. Your best bet is 10, max 11, if they could sneak this game off against the Broncos.
If that's the case, they're a wild card team because Green Bay's not losing again. Green Bay's getting a 10.
I'm just telling you right now.
And I'm telling you.
I'm just telling you now, those injury guys, they're not coming back. Frank Ragnow barely will come back.
I'm going to address 3 things. The first thing I'm going to address is you said, what am I judging? Am I judging what I see, or am I judging the record? Am I judging Lions by the past? I'm not judging this Lions team by the past. I'm judging this Lions team solely on this year, who they are, who I believe them to be, what I saw at the end of last year and this year. And when I see this year, I see a team that struggled with injuries. They're still struggling with injuries. I see a team that has been on the decline for the better part of 5 weeks now. It just won some games in there, so it made you overlook some things. I see a team that is struggling when they don't have their center in the game. Ben Johnson's not necessarily calling the best games when he doesn't have Frank Ragnow. It's like he's a little confused. Like he's trying to Maz always jumps up and says it, like he's trying to protect someone. Like, this is the things that I see. And it's okay to make comments, Ryan. Like, I had to write it down. Don't go. It's okay to make comments when things go right. It's okay to talk about, let's say, the Detroit Lions. It's okay to say you didn't make a move before the trade deadline. There's nothing wrong with that. You know why? Because they didn't. They didn't. A lot of people made moves, and the teams that made moves, they made some pretty good moves. They look good at certain points. You look at the Dallas Cowboys made some moves.
Absolutely.
The 49ers have made moves. The Eagles have made moves.
The Bears made moves.
The Bears, Montez Sweat, they made moves. That's a real thing. It's okay to say, well, I would have maybe went in this direction in the draft. It's okay to say that. It's okay to say that you would have went to the Jalen Carter or not this. It's okay to say that. But at the same time, it's also okay to point out the things that they do well. Everybody makes mistakes. The 49ers makes mistakes. You think they wish they could have some players back, some moves back, some things back. So I think for the Lions, you look at their season, now it's just time to get on track and be accountable. I think going down the stretch, it's about accountability. It's about doing the job is yours, and that's why I keep going back to that. I know I'm like a broken record today and yesterday. It's about doing your job. Your job is to catch a pass and run around and catch a pass. Your job is to make that block. Your job is to be a right guard and come and pull to the left and pick up the backside in. Pull to the left, pull up the backside in. They got to get back to doing their job better, and that's what Dan Campbell needs to input into them this week. Do your job to the best of your ability.
I don't think there's anything more to say than that, Braylon. I thought that was beautifully said, and I think you do judge them based on this year and moving forward. And you do look at those teams that made deals at the deadline. They are playing better. Chicago is playing better. And, oh, by the way, if they beat Cleveland this week, and Cleveland, I think, has lost 3 of their last 4 games or 2 of their last 3. They gave up 27 to the Jags. They gave up 36 to the Rams. They gave up 29 to the Broncos. They gave up 31 to the Ravens. They've lost 2 of their last 3. Yeah, it's not like Cleveland's an unbeatable team. If the Bears win this game, that Packers-Bears game in the final game of the season is going to be for the playoffs. I'm telling you right now, that Bears team is not
Lions,
dead.
Vikings.
And why? Why is that Bears team not dead?
That Bears team is 8-5 and
5-8.
8-5.
The Bears?
Bears 8-5. I'm sorry. I mean the Browns are 8-5.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like.
But I'm saying
that Browns team is good.
They're good, but they've got Joe Flacco at quarterback. In the first game, everybody plays well in the first game. Look at Josh Dobbs. But the more tape they get, Joe Flacco's not going to be as good. And the Browns defense, number 1 in the league. They gave up 31, 36, 29 points. They've given up an average of over 30 points to their opponent in the last 3 games. So it's not like they're, world breakers over there. All I'm saying is if the Bears can get by the Browns this week,
who's home?
It is
Browns are at home.
At the Browns.
Okay.
But it's Bears, Packers, Week 18 for a playoff berth. And why are the Bears in this position potentially?
Because of the Lions.
Because they got Montez Sweat at the deadline, and it totally changed their team. Everybody is playing at a higher level.
Give Ryan Poles his due, huh?
Yeah.
Give him his due.
He's definitely a force multiplier, like Dan Miller said on the show. But the Browns are a better team, Ryan. And I know that Joe Flacco, first game, everybody kind of does good. He's not asking him to do much. He's a statue quarterback. He's had success. He knows how to run that team. He's not out there running around. Josh Dobbs had success, but he also was rushing for like 100 yards a game. That's not sustainable.
Yeah, I'm not calling for a Bears win, but I'm not ruling it out either.
I'm taking the points.
I'm not ruling it out.
Defense is pretty.
They impressed the hell out of them.
Absolutely,
me
too, over. Man.
They're getting the ball.
Me too. Guys, Dan Campbell was asked about Jameson Williams this week.
Oh, I can't wait.
0 catches, 1 target last week. You'll hear from Dan Campbell about Jameson Williams. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 90 years. When you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing:
stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800. That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy 0 turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. Whether you landscape for your job or landscape for fun, get all your equipment from Outdoor Equipment Co., the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan-grown, family-owned, OutdoorEquipCo.com.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
More Maz, less Stanford. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. That's right. They added that Buick GMC dealership in the great city of Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. But if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, where they have been on Michigan Avenue for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want. All GM brands now under one umbrella. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Find new road.
Find them. All right, guys. Jameson Williams. We're giving a little bit of a dose of him, and it's
Very
like
little.
It's like a fine wine. You take a sip and you're like, damn, I want more of that. But then they take the bottle away from you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, if the Jets treated Garrett Wilson like we treat Jameson Williams, we never would have heard of Garrett Wilson.
Right.
We're the only people that really know that Jameson Williams exists because he plays for our team.
Well, last week, 0 catches, 1 target. Didn't see much of the football at all. He was asked, Dan Campbell was asked yesterday, whether or not they need to do something more to be able to get this young man the football. Here's his answer.
He's improving. So, we'll keep working to find some different ways to get him more involved, because he's putting the work in and he's improving, and but he's really no different than Saint. Keep finding ways to get Saint more involved. Reynolds did some good things. Find a way to get him involved. So, look, we're going to do what's best for us and ask our guys to do things they do well. And so, yeah, we absolutely, he's earned that. So we're going to keep working at it.
That's nice. That's great. He's improving. We're going to ask our guys to do what they do well. I guess he doesn't catch the ball well. I guess he's not a good receiver. I guess they missed on the number 1 pick, moved up, I don't know how many spots,
20.
to number 12 to grab this guy. He's invisible. They don't throw to him. Yesterday, I blamed Jared Goff because he can't reach the guy. I'm still going to blame Jared Goff a little for that, because let's face it, we all know he don't throw a good ball, and he probably can't throw the ball more than 45 yards. Besides that, how is this coach telling me that this guy is improving? Where is he improving? If he's obviously doing crap during the week because they're not using him. He's not in the game plan. Let's do a trick play and let this guy run and then dive 9 yards for a touchdown. That's all they do to him. It's disgraceful. And either he sucks and we don't know about it. I don't really know where to even go with this, to tell you the truth. I really don't know what he's talking about. Is this guy not the number 1 pick? Would have been the number 1 guy for sure had he not had an ACL injury. Braylon, fill me in, man.
What are you missing?
What am I missing?
I don't know what's going on inside Allen Park. I don't know what's going on during the week in practice and things like that. But Dan Campbell at the podium doesn't sound like he's confident in something. And I keep going back to,
he's improving.
Yeah, that's definitely not a good thing. But the week before that, everybody was happy. It was like, oh, we saw the Motor City Common. And you've seen him opening plays. And you've seen him making catches. And seen him trying to find his rhythm. And then all of a sudden, he's improving. I mean, he just takes a complete step back. Man, this is where I say it's not Jameson Williams. This is where I say maybe it's the team. Maybe it's Jared Goff. Maybe it's Ben Johnson. Maybe there's something going on with someone. Because just a week ago, he was the Motor City Common. Oh my God, they got him in on the reverse. The week before that, he's done this. Oh yeah, he's coming along. You see him blocking, and that J-Mo, man, we love J-Mo. We get on there and block with somebody. He's making some good catches on third downs, like tough catches, like Amon-Ra St. Brown catch that he usually makes. But now all of a sudden, it's J-Mo. He's improving, so maybe he's not the pick. I still think I still think it's something in terms of getting him initiated into the system. I will stand firm on that. They did not take a look at where they were going to play Jameson in his offense once they started getting it rolling. Once they started having success in his offense, just like Jameson was an afterthought at the end of last year. Jameson was an afterthought at the beginning of this year. And I think they struggled to try to find a way to get him implemented. And maybe they're all frustrated. Maybe Jameson's frustrated during the week. Maybe they're frustrated. But I just definitely think there's some frustrations there. And I think maybe we don't get a chance to see what necessarily takes place during practice during the week to know where the blame lies.
I have a theory.
Okay.
You want to know what my theory is?
Can't wait.
That the offensive line isn't that good.
What does that mean?
They can't protect.
For Jared.
The guy has already passed you 1 second, 2 seconds. He's already passed you. You have 2 seconds. Throw the freaking ball up.
Well, maybe that's on Jared Goff. I'm telling you that for Jameson Williams to get hit 40 yards down the field, you need an offensive line to protect the quarterback. Or you need a quarterback with the ability to buy himself some time with his feet. Jared Goff cannot roll out of the pocket and buy himself time.
Oh, he trips on his feet.
To allow the receivers to get into their routes down the field. We are making this, I think,
difficult than it has to be.
Way more than it has to be. Way more. I don't think Jameson Williams sucks, and I don't think the Lions are not trying to get him the ball. I just think it's round peg square hole right now. And that is why you saw the reverse last week with Jameson Williams, because they are trying to get him the ball. He's never going to be a possession receiver. Could you throw him, where they line up with a wide receiver slant, a wide receiver screen, where you just get it, throw it to him, let two blockers out in front of him, and see what he can do that way? Yes, perhaps you could do that. But I don't think this offensive line, I think they've played 13 games. I think they've had their offensive line together one time. Is that true, Maz?
That's it.
One game of the 13.
Right. Even last the game.
And this offensive line is not doing what they're paid to do, and that is protect the quarterback right now. Jared Goff is under too much pressure, and he simply does not have time to allow Jameson Williams to get down the field. And that's what I think it is. And I could be wrong on that, but I think it's just that simple. He does not have time to get down the field.
Which goes back, and I agree with you, which adds on to the conversation, or your conversation, mine can add on to it. Ben Johnson is protecting somebody. Because if you let's say you call, because they're called 9 routes, go routes, verticals, the 9 routes. If you call 9 routes a game, you would think with somebody that runs 4.3, has that blazing speed like that, you would call, give him 4 options a game, just run go routes. If you can't run any other pattern, if he doesn't know how to run a post bar, which he does, if he can't run a big bang 8, which he can, if he can't run the dig, which he can, well, just throw him 4 go routes here. He'll catch 2 of them. Maybe we'll get a pass interference on the other 2. Mm-hmm. They don't even do that.
No.
Because if they do that, and then it looks like the one did last week or 2 weeks ago, where you're like, man, he underthrew him. If he would.
Last week, 5 yards, he underthrew him.
If you do that 4 times a game and you see that 5 times or 4 times, then you know exactly what it is. And I don't think they want to put him into your point. Expose that line and the quarterback like that, because the window, man, was the beginning of the season. That's when the line played the best. The offense was operating at its best the first 6 games of the season, correct? When they were 5-1, that's when the offensive line. Guess who couldn't play those first 5 games or the first 4? And then they had to ease them along. So we didn't get a chance to see Jameson when when the line, Jared Goff, were operating at his best. Didn't get a chance to see him because he was suspended. Now when he comes along, the line as well as the team has been going downhill every week since. And I think that's just what it is. They're not equipped at the current way the team is set up, with no Frank Ragdown, no Jonas Jackson, nobody. They're not set up to be able to stand in there, throw the ball down the field, and have success with Jameson. But they don't even throw him slants, though.
I got a great trade for you.
Why can't you throw him a slant route? It's a 1-step slant or a 2-step slant. Why can't you throw him a quick out in the inside with Sam Laporte on the outside? That's a quick out. Hence, emphasis on quick. That's up to Ben Johnson. If you can't do that, then maybe there is something going on.
Look, just trade him to Kansas City. We'll take Chris Jones, give Patrick Mahomes his number 1 receiver, and let's call it a day. Obviously, the guy don't fit here. Obviously.
Oh, man, speaking of that, how bad would the Kansas City Chiefs wish they could do the offseason over, even during the season, and pick up who had 124 yards and a touchdown last night on your team?
D-Hop.
Don't you wish the Kansas City Chiefs could have done that over?
Yeah, I guess he wasn't good enough for them.
Hey, by the way, ESPN came out with a mock draft today, first mock draft. You know what they have the Lions taking?
Quarterback,
wide receiver.
A wide receiver.
Just saying.
He don't fit, man. There's something rotten in Denmark, and it's right here in Detroit.
You know who number 7 is?
One of the 7.
J.J. McCarthy. Just saying.
I did see that. I did see that.
Where's he going?
One of the big things, too.
Or Las Vegas.
One of the big things, too, is now, and this could be another side of it, is nowadays guys fit systems. So in college, and this is on the other side, this is actually putting a little bit on Jameson. Guys have to fit systems in college now. You go to Alabama, you know what you're going to do. You're going to run 4-3. They're going to throw the ball into you in quick screens. They're going to throw you deep over routes. You don't have to know an offense. You don't have to know necessarily how to be a wide receiver. You just know, I know I line up on this play. I know I go out there. They're going to throw the ball down until I catch it and run a touchdown. Like, they don't ask them how to break down coverages. They don't ask them how to break down defense. They don't ask them how to break down concepts. Like, when I got drafted, Ryan Ermanni, when I went to the process of interviewing, when I went to San Francisco to interview, Miami to interview, Minnesota to interview, Chicago, Hallis Hall to interview, they put me on that whiteboard and they told me, draw up your favorite 5 plays. Why are their favorite 5 plays? They broke down, they put defenses on the board and they had me label each position and they had me break down what stuff was. But you know what? Sue Campbell, the best wide receivers coach that there ever lived, he had me, I had to do that. I had to know that stuff. So our era, you had to know how to be a wide receiver. You had to know the route tree. You had to know.
That's what it is.
You had to know.
That's what it is.
that is Sue.
That's what it is, Bray. That's what it is, Braylon.
Boy, big dog. You ain't big dog. You can't play. You can't be.
You got to be able to read the
We had to
coverages,
actually
Braylon.
know the position, know the coverages, know what I'm saying, know my rotation. Yo, you know what it's covered to? Audible, check this. I got to know what the audible is. This generation doesn't have to do that. It's just, hey, you line up there, you know what to do, and I think that could be a part of it.
And we know what to do next. We're going to call Mike O'Hara next, get his take. Mo on the Lions next. Look. But first, a message from Swiss.
It's already been an awesome college and pro football season this year, and fall is also the perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you too. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at SwissINS.com or call 248-800-4177.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new Down Home Comfort Dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The Down Home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of Down Home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey gang, come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register to win a trip of your dreams, all expenses paid, suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That's right, no expenses spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. I think we do have Mike O'Hara.
Hello.
Mike, how you doing, buddy? You there? No, we don't have him. Never mind. We'll try to work on that coming up. In the meantime, let me put up the NFC playoff picture, the NFL playoff picture, as it were. And I mentioned earlier, Braylon, 11 of the... I got...
Hello?
Hey, Mike. Hey, we're just calling you on the air, okay? Hey, Mike, how are you? You're on the air, buddy. Hello, Mike. Can you hear me? I give up.
Hello?
Yeah, he hears us. We don't hear him. Hang up on him so he doesn't say anything. Just hang up. Somebody do something. It's all good. In the meantime, I will go back to this, Braylon, this current NFL playoff picture. 11 of the 14 teams with offensive head coaches. And it's starting to come to shape a little bit here. What is one of the matchups that you take away from right now? Who is that matchup that you look at here and you gravitate towards?
Whew, that's a good one. It's a good football around. Just looking at it.
I don't like any of these matchups.
Yeah, I'm like, none of them really.
Is there a good
I guess
matchup?
Minnesota would be a third time in a row if that played out that way. But maybe, you know what? I got one for you. I'll create one on the NFC side. Philadelphia and Tampa. Tampa hasn't necessarily been the best team, but your boy Baker Mayfield's playing with some heart. They've seen Rashad White make some plays out there. Antoine Winfield had a good game last game, and then Mike Evans has been reborn this season, actually having one of his better seasons in year 10. So I think you can see something interesting from that. Seeing that the Philadelphia Eagles have.
Hello? Hey, Mo, you there? I'm so sorry, Mo.
Yo.
If you can hear me.
Yo, B, you call him live, man. We can hear it.
What was your matchup, Braylon?
Doesn't even matter. Just it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. It's for 49ers and 3. 49ers and 3.
All right. Let's get it back here.
Now, getting it back though, all those matchups look terrible. Maybe you look at my.
Guys, I'm going to take a break actually right now. We'll get our audio centered out. Let me take a break right now because we got some. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. We'll go to a break. We'll be right back. Feldman, but first a message from Feldman.
All right, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer with over 18 locations in the metropolitan area. That means it is probably a dealer in your neighborhood. Just go to feldmanauto.com and you can find that out. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, first-class car buying experience. It's called the Feldman Advantage. Do yourself a favor and take advantage.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Outdoor Equipment Company, the official outdoor equipment provider of Woodward Sports, Michigan-grown, family-owned. Bad boy mowers, tractors, steel handhelds, even weed whippers, Liberty trailers, Generac generators, SnowX plows, and salters. Outdoor Equipment Company has it all. You could buy it, you could rent it, all for 0% financing, delivered to your doorstep. OutdoorEquipCo.com, OutdoorEquipCo.com. Before we move on here, can I ask Pete Spivak a question?
Yeah.
Now that box was beautiful. Put it back up, that box with the Outdoor Equipment Company. Okay, great. Hello, everybody. Is there any way you can find the Lady Jane's box?
Yeah, I hear ya. That needs to be adjusted. Look at that.
It's just
hardcore heavy.
How in the world does that happen?
Because this looks like PhotoGrid. There's an app called PhotoGrid. That's what it looks like. They're trying to fit you in that third box.
Better one, or go back to Outdoor Equipment Company.
That'll be fixed then. We'll have to fix that. There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know which one's better looking.
Outdoor Equipment Company.
But see, Outdoor Equipment has one graphic, and then you're mixed in there.
But the box is the same size.
That's what I'm saying. That's so bizarre.
Oh, yeah.
I could do this all day.
Better one, better Phil, you ever go to the eye doctor?
Yeah,
better one, better two,
I went
3, 4, 1, 2.
Family Guy did a very funny parody one time with like Jafar getting glasses, and he did that. Is it one or is it two?
Oh,
is it
God.
2 or is it 3?
Thanks to everybody bearing with us in the chat. It's all good, man. We'll try to track him down. If we can track him down, great. If we can't, we won't.
We're like the Lions, man.
Yeah,
apologize for the same shit.
We're working on it. We're working on it. In the meantime, I do want to go around the NFL. And one of the things that happened today, Bray, Justin Herbert declared out for the season. That just feels to me like an organization that knows they're going to give up on their head coach and maybe even general manager. That's probably a quarterback that deserves better. But that organization, even dating back to Phillip Rivers, it always leaves you wanting more. No matter who is in charge, it's just one of those organizations that just never seems to be able to get it right.
They never can get it right. And I've been screaming for Brandon to get Brandon Staley to get fired for a minute. I'm maybe not the biggest Justin Herbert fan, but I definitely understood. Justin Herbert has been misused by the coach over the past 3-4 years. His career could have took a different turn, but it's taken one by a negligent coach. But it's bigger than, it's to your point, that Chargers organization, Mass can speak more to that, but they always have so many players that are in the Pro Bowl or making the most in the league, and they're coming over. This guy was defensive player of the year. This guy was an all-pro wide receiver. This guy, J.C. Jackson, supposed to be the next coming on defense. Derwin James. Go back to LaDainian Tomlinson and Antonio Gates and Phillip Rivers and all these stars, and nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for it. No Super Bowl appearances. They can't even get a win in the AFC Championship. I guess that's how you get to the Super Bowl. But it's been that way for a very, very long. You can go back to Kellen Winslow Sr. and Dan Fouts. Something about this organization, man, they just can never cross the finish line.
Gotta call Alan after the show, figure out why that's happening, what your GPU is going to have, making sure that you're covering the bases that continues to free.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Ryan?
Yep.
I'm going right to you.
Okay.
Good.
Hey, and welcome back here on Woodward Sports Network. Had a little bit of an internet interruption. We hope you have stuck with us here. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Masaway. We got Spivak in here. We got Kool-Aid in here. Yeah, the idea that Justin Herbert is going to get another shot here, and we'll see what happens with their next head coach. But it does feel like they need a head coach over there in L.A. that has some experience. And I'm not sure if that guy's like a Dan Quinn type head coach with the Dallas Cowboys, or if that is an Eric Bieniemy. I don't know if you give a first-time head coach the job. I don't think Ben Johnson's star in terms of head coaches is falling a little bit. There's plenty of time to get back, but nonetheless, we'll see what happens over there.
They got to vet the process. That's the big thing now, is you got to vet the process. You look at Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel was a guy that he wasn't just a guy that they hired that was under Kyle Shanahan, that was under Josh McVay. He's a guy that did his due diligence. He's a guy that went to Harvard. He's a guy that came in. He guys worked his way up, starting off as a wide receivers assistant, then becoming a wide receivers coach, then a quarterback coach. Then he coached under those guys. Then he went out to Denver. So he's a guy that had a cachet, and then came in and was able to coach, and you saw success. Don't just hire a guy that's the next guy under somebody. Even with Ben Johnson, as you said, we saw him put together a really nice offense for the most part. But how is he going to look being a leader of men? How is he going to look when he's under fire? How is he going to look when you lose a game and you win for it on 2 and people say you shouldn't have went for it? How are you going to respond to that? How are you going to respond to the energies that you see in the locker room? Like, it's a lot to be a head coach. It is not an easy task to take the blame from the media, players, etc. It's a tough process. So we should turn the volume up. It's off the rails.
They're still hearing us.
Yeah, they can hear us.
It's just frozen on that beautiful mug of Braylon. Oh, he's moving now. I see him moving.
I can move. I was just talking.
Oh, no, you're frozen on the YouTube screen.
Frozen on the YouTube, but the audio is good, which is fine.
We'll just do a radio show.
Which is fine. Probably I have the face for radio anyway, but
Kool-Aid,
if you could kill Pete's mic, that'd be great.
That'll be awesome.
Maz, I do want to go around the NFL if I could.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about. We're not going to have graphics for you guys, but
I'm definitely something about this part. I tell you that.
Hey, Tom Curran, we know him as the best in the business on the East Coast as far as reporting on all things New England and Boston. And Tom E. Curran, who's been on the show in the past, has said that Bill Belichick and the Patriots will part at the end of the season. And if Tom Curran is saying that, you can book it. Not like John Morosi. Unfortunately, he took a bad step with the whole show.
Excuse me. Hey, Kool-Aid, are you able to kill his mic? Because I hear him.
Or I hear you or somebody.
I think.
No. That's that.
Anyway, Tom E. Curran in Boston says the Patriots and Bill Belichick are splitting up.
I don't think that's a shock at all, right? I mean, I think in the bigger question too is I don't think that he's done.